Hello LEGO fans, Bricks Unbound here with another Building Hogwarts update. And today we are returning to the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom for a second update in a row, as well as the exterior of that building. As I mentioned in the last update, a lot of my parts of Hogwarts have involved building it once or twice, taking it apart, and then trying again. And the same has indeed held true for the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom area. The desks themselves are still the same design. I got some more of my parts in so I could at least get those finished off. The main change here is the wall of windows. Previously those little window sills there that are in front here weren't there. And the little arches underneath them weren't there either. But looking back at shots from the movies, there should be something like that there. So I went ahead and unfortunately it did require tearing all of this apart again after I had just gotten it to a relatively complete status for the last update. But I do think this new design looks much better, much more movie accurate. So I'm pretty happy with how that has turned out. I have also sort of started working on the other side here. There's going to be a door there to get in. And then there's some other interesting architectural features along the wall that I need to get some better shots of before I can really work on it too much more. This little section here is going to be ripped out so I can blend it into everything else. And that really does it for the interior here. So it was quite a bit of work to redo it, even if it doesn't necessarily look a lot different. And then I also think I've decided what I'm going to do with the back half of this building. Again, gonna have to do some rebuilding, but here there is a section where I'm going to be able to put in a removable wall, similar to how I did in the floor just below this. That way I can get better shots like this back here. Otherwise this wall would force me to basically be coming straight down from the top. So I'll be able to put a wall in there, get it removed. There is an angle here in the films of another door there. So I'll figure out a way to do that, but that'll be coming as well. But this room back here, I'm thinking I'm going to use for the Hogwarts trophy room, which I think is what they call that room in the films. That's like kind of under the Great Hall where the champions go, and Dumbledore has his iconic "Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?" moment in the movies. But that's not really where it is in the books at all, and it only appears briefly in a movie, so I'm going to put it here. I think, and this is just to represent it. This is not a very good display case at all, but that's to represent that eventually there's going to be all kinds of trophies and shields and armor and other awards for special services of the school, that sort of thing, in this room. It is a pretty big space for it, but it'll work. I'll be able to fit a lot in there. There'll just be another entryway here out into the hallway. Moving across to this section, I did, if I can pull this up without breaking too much, well, there's a piece coming off. I did work some more, there we go, just on this section, just for stability's sake. So this is the door that will go into the Defense Against the Dark Arts. This one will go into the trophy room. This down here is not going to be a door because there's going to be a solid wall behind it. This is just a little hallway. I just kind of messed around a little bit with various architecture. I think I'll have maybe suits of armor kind of lining this to sort of lead the way into, well, you know, Defense Against the Dark Arts, so more combat type stuff in there in theory, and then into the trophy room as well. And then this middle door here will lead into the section that becomes the library and the Ravenclaw Tower whenever I get around to actually getting that built up. So just some little progress there. Nothing, again, too major, but wanted to show it off. Lots of progress on the exterior here, though. As I mentioned in the last update, I was working on splitting the towers so they would come apart with the floor. So I have now completed that on both sides here. You can see the line of tiles there. It's a little bit offset right now, but you get the idea. I just set it back on top real quickly like I also redid all of the windows on these two big towers, so as I mentioned, lots of taking things apart and rebuilding them. But I think these windows look a lot better than the previous versions of these. I also worked on the front here some. Have a couple different designs for kind of the peaks of these little roof sections here, as you can see. I'm not super happy, honestly, with either one. So here it's just plates and hinges, similar to what I did up on the bell towers there, although it works a lot better on the bell towers, I think, than down here. Yeah, I'm not really liking that, and actually, with how it's fitting in there, there's some stress in the parts. So that way's not going to work. I mean, I could do some rebuilding, use smaller plates to make it fit a little bit better, but not a huge fan of this version. I tried to come up with a way to do it for the narrower little towers there. Or pillars. I mean, yeah, it's just not quite doing it for me. This looks better, I think, for the narrower ones. And then this isn't great, especially close up for the thicker ones, but I think I'll probably have to go with some design more like this. I'm just not really liking the plates there. Let me know what you think about those, or if you have a completely different idea on how to do it. I'm open to suggestions there. Front of the building, I think it's pretty much the same as last time, other than the adjustments up at the top. And then again, just extending the height of these towers. So right now, it is actually approximately the right height that the roof will be able to line up here. Of course, as I mentioned in, I think, the long gallery episodes with the roofs there, this top roof here is not really steep enough compared to the films, but the next option of angled slope that would be the 45-degree angle one, which would increase the height to like here, which would then be over halfway up the bell towers at the other end, which just isn't really going to work for me. So I think I'm going to stick with these plates to get that angle. Not to mention, if I changed it now, I'd have to rebuild everything. But that's definitely not going to happen. But it is coming along nicely. I'm going to need... Oh, man. I think I've used maybe even upwards of 1,000 of these 2x3 slopes. And I'm going to need probably just about that many just for the roof over this section with how huge it's gotten. So that'll be fun. I think I have a couple hundred left, maybe, from these previous sections, but that's not going to cut it. So I'm looking forward, though, to finally getting this... Oops, knocking stuff over. Finally getting this section closer to done. It's taking a long time, but I am very happy with the progress so far. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments, and please keep coming back for more videos.